Welcome in America, night number 3 of the NCAA tournament. It is night 3, right? I'm losing count. I feel like we live here now. I feel like I've sat in this chair for God knows 72 straight hours.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I woke up today and I was 29 years old, and at the end of the Carolina game, I think I was 37. I aged at least 10 years.
Carolina ended up being the game of the day. I mean, we had a what a day of basketball.
Yeah.
A lot of great games. We can talk about them all. We'll talk about Carolina in a second.
Yeah, let's start with what we just saw.
That was comedy of the highest order. But let's start with what we just saw, as you said. Gonzaga beats Memphis, a result that you and I are happy about, which we need to flesh this out because I think most people watching are cheering for chaos. You're cheering for if the number one seed, the number one overall seed in the NCAA tournament loses, that's usually something that is supported by most of America. But you and I see the bigger picture.
Yes.
And Memphis put up a valiant fight.
Today was a battle.
This was awesome. This was we are happy for Memphis. We are happy for Penny Hardaway.
Happy for Chris Vernon.
There's a good taste in your mouth after the ups and downs of this season.
Yeah.
But as you said, this was a battle, and there is a greater war at play, which is that if Memphis beats Gonzaga, we're running out, especially on the left side of the bracket, we're running out of teams to stop Duke.
Yes. This is the Cold War. And the USSR and Coach K are gearing up for the cold winter. And they're going to be okay. They know that they just have to outlast the rest of their region. And Gonzaga really is the number one team to stop them. And Memphis was trying to slay the dragon tonight.
Yes.
But we cannot have that
happen.
We
can't have that because there's a bigger dragon.
Yes.
Waiting.
Yes.
But Memphis, first half, I mean, that was as impressive as a first half.
Up 10 at halftime.
As you could have hoped for if you're Memphis. They come out, they punk Gonzaga. Physicality, athleticism, all the things that we knew Memphis might have an advantage in, but we weren't sure what that would look like. Gonzaga's more skilled. Yep. Gonzaga's a better team. Gonzaga has the experience, but Memphis has the athletes. Memphis has
more rebounds in this game.
Memphis crashes the glass. Memphis is not afraid to run. A lot of teams try to run with Gonzaga. Gonzaga will run you out of the gym. Memphis is like, we're fine with running. And we should say Gonzaga, as much as they love to run, they only love to run when they have the ball.
On their turn.
They do not love to run when they're playing defense. They do not love to run back.
Yeah, Drew Timme is like, I like that. I don't like this.
Yeah.
And this game in general, one, it showed at first kind of the Achilles heel of this Gonzaga team, which is, quote unquote, they could be soft, which, I mean, you look at the committee, this matchup is a tough matchup for Gonzaga in general. Mm-hmm. But I think as the game wore on, especially in the second half, we've been waiting for Drew Timme to have that Christian Laettner click-in moment, like I am him, so to speak.
I'm one of them ones.
Yeah, this second half
introduced me to.
At one time, Memphis had 20 points in the second half, and Drew Timme had 18. You know what I mean? He was dominating, and he came out with like a man on a mission. Like he decided at halftime, I'm going to have to help win this game and will our team to victory, and he did.
If you're him, then be him.
Be him.
Is what
that's all we ask.
I think that's what Mark Few's halftime speech was. And Timme is a guy who you might remember, Tate, when
some are saying Drew Hemme. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
It's all right. It wasn't the word. I mean, you've had worse, to be honest. It was just something Jim would say.
Yeah, that was from Jim. Jim's not listening, but if he heard it, he's rolling his eyes. He's watching Michigan highlights over there, crunching the numbers to tell me why they're a blue blood.
What was I gonna say? Timme is the guy that, if you remember, when St. Mary's handed it to Gonzaga, I may or may not, or somebody may have, with a voice similar to mine. I don't know. We don't have the tapes.
We burned the tape.
We burned the tapes. But I made a case that I was worried that Drew Timme might be a front runner. I was worried that he only likes to stroke the stash when he himself is he's just scored 5 straight possessions and Gonzaga's taken a 12-point lead. And then and only then do we see him active in the huddle. Do we see him pointing at the crowd? Do we see him doing all these things? To his credit, Gonzaga's getting their ass kicked. He comes out in the second half, and the mojo's flowing when all of the variables had lined up for a game in which Drew Timme just is like, I'm good, I'm out. Like, you guys,
yes,
this game is not for me. And he stepped up. I will give him credit because he stepped up and he was leading as friend of the program. Andy Katz was reporting from the huddles. Drew Timme's voice is being heard in the huddles. He's talking. He's leading. That's good. That's a good sign.
And it felt like last year in the title game, he got punked, and he did not want any piece of the Baylor Bears, especially Vital in that game. He was like, Mark Vital, please get out of my face. Stop hounding me. I don't want any part of this.
What a great picture.
I mean,
but
I was about to point this out. When I said Christian Laettner, you're like, that's a bit of a stretch. Look at this picture right here. I mean, this is perfect.
Dude,
this is literally – this is new age Christian Laettner and Drew Timme. Thank you for stepping up and proving why I would say that.
So, what you had Gonzaga? I mean, we both believe in Gonzaga.
Of course.
We both think Gonzaga. We thought Arizona deserved the #1 overall seed, but Gonzaga's a Final Four team.
Jim can't stop laughing at the Drew Timme picture.
Where did you find this picture, dude?
Getty Images.
Good job.
Jim is MIA when we're watching these games, and we can't ever find him. We don't know what he's up to.
Down.
Looking at pictures.
I know exactly.
Well,
and then the show starts, and I see that Jim pulled the worst picture possible to Timmy, and I'm like, that's what he's been doing.
He was also watching the women's tournament today. Yeah. He told us it was a better tournament, so maybe next year we cover that.
What was I gonna say? After watching this Gonzaga Memphis game, your belief in Gonzaga. You're a guy who believed in Gonzaga. I believe in Gonzaga both as a program and a specific team this season. Is our confidence wavering? Because I'm not even talking national title. Let's just cut to the chase. We're trying to keep Duke from getting to the Final Four.
As far as the war that is being
the war.
Yes, the cultural war.
Because if Mike Krzyzewski and Duke get to the Final Four, I'm here to tell you, America, that's a success.
And it's Gonzaga's fault.
Yeah.
Like if someone comes up and says, well, Coach K made a Final Fours last year and that gets to live on forever, I'm not going to put that on Coach K and Duke. I'm going to put that on Gonzaga.
Yeah.
They're going to be who I blame for that. And the question that you're asking, do I still believe in Gonzaga? Do I still think they can do it? Yes. I think tonight actually emboldened my opinion that this team can get hit in the mouth and they can bounce back and they can make adjustments because, I mean, the 3 games that they lost, they were down at halftime this year. They were down 10 today.
One of which was to Duke.
Yes. So all signs are pointing to, oh, my God, this is the recipe for Gonzaga to lose. And instead, their best player, Drew Timme, came out and carried them.
Meanwhile, they got Arkansas next. Arkansas likes to run. That's going to be interesting. Arkansas is a team. Arkansas fans.
Talk about a muck.
The moment you start talking about anything other than Arkansas fans are like, now hang on a second.
Yeah.
What about us?
Yes.
When are you going to talk about us? We're talking about you.
Yep.
That does worry me. I mean, Gonzaga has to get past Arkansas if they're going to beat Duke. That's really where we're at because as I said, I'm here to tell you, America, that Mike Krzyzewski going to the Final Four, and the only way that Duke going to the Final Four and losing is not a win for Coach K in his final year is if he loses to Carolina again.
Yes.
Is if he meets Carolina in the Final Four and loses again. But otherwise, if you're of the mind that this Coach K farewell tour ends successfully if and only if Duke wins a national title, you're wrong. Mm-hmm. If Duke goes to the Final Four, that is going to be spun. I was going to say,
even if Carolina beats them in the Final Four, Duke still made the Final Four, and that's forever.
No, dude.
They're still going to argue.
Carolina beats
Do you know this propaganda machine that we're dealing with?
No.
The propaganda. No. They haven't even admitted that they lost in K's last game in Cameron yet. They haven't gotten there. So if North Carolina beat them, they would still hang their hat on Final Four. They have to be stopped in this. And I'm looking at everybody. If Mike Bray and Notre Dame do it, that's forever.
And, we're not we don't mean to dismiss Arkansas. We're talking about Gonzaga. Arkansas,
you can do it.
If it's you, do it.
We believe in you.
We believe in you.
Come on, Must Bus.
Mike Bray, I got to be honest, Notre Dame, I don't like that. Notre Dame's playing well. Notre Dame's good.
Yeah.
It's just too close.
Is there a chance? There's a chance that Mike
down.
Bray, bends the knee. He might bend the knee to his king.
Texas Tech, I love. Texas Tech.
But Notre Dame is a bad matchup for Texas Tech.
I know. But I think we're in a good spot. The Duke haters, we're in a good spot.
Yeah.
I think I think we're all right. I don't think it's time to panic yet. So we don't have to worry about that. Let's put a pin in that. We'll revisit it.
Put a pin in it.
Because Michigan State might have something to say about it tomorrow. Maybe not. As you said, what did you say this morning when we were talking about this game? You turned to me and sincerely. This is why I love the NCAA tournament. I love doing the show with you get our two moronic minds together. You come up with takes like this.
Anything is possible.
Tate turned to me and goes, Michigan State has no chance, and that's why I think they have a chance.
Yes.
I was like, that makes no sense, and that's why it makes sense.
I like the fact that Duke wants to play Michigan State, and I like the fact that no one in their right minds thinks that Michigan State has a chance, which sounds so dumb, but also I like it.
Let's put a pin in the West region.
Okay.
And apologies to Arkansas fans. Your game was a game that
muck
should not
fest.
be talked about.
Yes.
This game was a disaster. You guys won. Congratulations, going on to the Sweet 16. We're happy about that. But we're not going to spend a lot of time talking because like we were excited about JD Note versus Teddy Allen. It just turned into muck versus muck.
Yeah. Even though Note had 18 and Allen had 12, it still was. It didn't even feel like those two guys were going mano a mano because
No,
we were just lost in the quick.
it was a muck fest.
Yeah,
So
we
can move past the West. Let's go to the East because the game of the day was the first game. North Carolina, an 8 seed, takes on Baylor, the defending national champions, a 1 seed, jumps out to a 25-point lead. Then Hubert Davis is not classy. We know this. We have record of this, that Hubert Davis did not do anything for Coach K in his final game in the Dean Dome. He snubbed Chris Carrawell. Everyone talks about Chris Carrawell not shaking Hubert Davis's hand. Hubert Davis could have shook his hand. He did not do that. So this man has a track record. And when Carolina gets up by 25, he decides that simply beating Baylor is not enough. Let's start throwing cheap shots. He tells Brady Manick to throw elbows to the face.
Mm-hmm.
Armando Bacot tackles Sohan. What's going on, Tate? And Baylor starts to come back. It turned into the wildest game I've ever seen. Leaky Black getting trapped at half court with a minute left in overtime, up by 6, jumps in the air, throws a rocket pass off the backboard. I have not stopped thinking about it all day. I hope it's on One Shiny Moment. That play will live with me forever. One of the funniest things I've ever seen. Your thoughts on North Carolina? Blowing out Baylor, then choking it away, then still winning.
Yeah, I mean, this is when you beat the defending champs, obviously that's a great feeling. This is the first meeting between a new blood in Baylor, a blue blood in North Carolina. And if you've kept up with the program over the years, you know that there has been a war, a culture war between the new bloods and the blue bloods. And the blue bloods are just trying to maintain, right? We're just trying to hold the door. Hold the door. We're just trying to hold. And the new blood, Leonard Hamilton is leading the charge, and Scott Drew's coming in. They're kicking down the door. Tony Bennett, Bruce Pearl, everyone's coming in. All the new bloods are piling in. And in this game,
Shaheen Holloway.
I learned a lot, and I got respect for the new bloods because I learned about their power. I have never in my entire existence, and I've heard, I've been in a part of lots of North Carolina games over the years where the other fan base would say, of course, the blue blood, gets all these calls, da-da-da. The new bloods have power because Baylor in this game, I don't know who the powers are at the top. I don't know if it's Condoleezza Rice, but about the 10-minute mark, someone made the call in and said, let's make sure that North Carolina does not win this game. And
let's make it a game.
I have never seen so there were 56 made shots in this game. There were 53 fouls called in this game. Now
Billis. Billis puts out a statement that like all of us are watching like one of the I wouldn't say the best NCAA tournament games ever, but one of the wildest. I mean, this was one of the wildest games.
Would have been the biggest comeback in
history.
NCAA tournament history. Would have tied 25 points in 2012.
And Billis just like
BYU
fires out the statement that's like, this is hockey/rugby. Clean it up. This is wrong.
This is wrong. Yeah. Jay Billis's takeaway from this game is that this is wrong. My takeaway from this game is one, these officials, and I'll do the classic thing. This is both ways.
Bad both ways.
And I say that because
Baylor got screwed on the last shot. The shot on RJ, the foul on RJ Davis, he gave him 3 free throws. That was a bad call. It was bad both ways.
You noticed all the Baylor things, of course. But this there were 10 straight fouls that were called on North Carolina with no break. It made no sense. Like I said, 53 fouls, 56 made baskets. North Carolina was the better team. There was no doubt about that. If you look at the numbers, Carolina shot 49% from the field. Baylor shoots 34%. North Carolina shoots 44% from the three-point line. Baylor shoots 24% from the three-point line. And also, Baylor takes 81 shots in this game. Carolina takes 57 because the officials gave them that many more possessions than North Carolina.
The officials didn't.
Have you ever in your life
Leaky Black gave them those possessions?
Have you ever seen something so egregious? I've never seen that. But again, it's not about the officials because when you win, you don't whine. There will be no whining for North Carolina basketball because, again, we're a blue blood. But
shout out Pitching Ninja.
I did like that. Leaky Black in that moment right there, he was just trying to throw it up to the basket, but he was thinking to himself, I got to make sure I get this there. And as he was throwing it, I think he saw like a Trey Jones flashback in the moment where he was like, oh, my God, we can't just throw this game away. And then the anger of that moment got into the ball, and he just throws a rocket. That's the only way I can explain that. But for North Carolina to win this game, for them to, after everything that they dealt with this year, I mean, we joked about Juwan Howard and the adversity that they're making up. I would love to hear that about North Carolina.
Jim, pull the clips of Tate. I don't know.
Show the adversity.
Freaking 6 weeks ago, the adversity of North Carolina having their native son. They're one of the mouthpieces of North Carolina basketball media. Who was it 6 weeks ago? Tate said it's strike 5 and I'm done with Carolina. Fire Hubert, fire Armando.
Fire Hubert.
It's like
Caleb,
fire Armando.
6 days ago.
Pull Caleb scholarship. I think he said. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so happy for Hubert Davis. I'm so happy for North Carolina. I mean, I literally walked in on set and I had like the entire crew is pulling against North Carolina. And I'm like, this is the current state of blue bloods. And again, this is why we're trying to maintain, because all this blue blood energy, you're like, what is happening?
I'm going to tell you.
Shout out to UCLA. Shout out to my blue bloods. It's just us.
I'm going to tell you.
We're out here battling against all the haters.
I'm going to tell
the
you.
Haters are strong.
I'm going to tell you.
And look, Harry Potter, he had a long battle with Voldemort. It took a long, long time for him to finally get over the hump.
Spoilers,
yeah,
please.
Sorry for the people at home that don't know. Things go awry there at the end, but eventually
I'm going to tell you why we were there was a perception that we were anti-Carolina. It was that
because you guys are. And
no,
it's okay.
No.
It's okay.
We were anti.
Hey, I like when you eat your words though, because a lot of idiots. Around
you know what we were?
A lot of haters.
You know what we were anti?
But I enjoy it. I am soaking it in. Shout out to Hubert Davis, my guy. Shout out to North Carolina. They did it.
We were anti Tate Frazier pulling a Rex Chapman.
Yeah.
And walking off the set. Like not showing up on the set because you were worried that your team was going to lose. You were worried that this is blue blood behavior.
Woody Durham said, "You go where you go, you do what you do." And I went where I went and I did what I did. And I am Sister Jean because I did it and I beat K and I did it today and I beat the reigning champs. Shout out to North Carolina.
Tate would not.
Nobody will know where I go and how I make it get done, and everyone here is upset. They're like, "We want to get you on camera. We want to laugh at you while Carolina loses." Not today.
Dock his pay.
Not today.
If our bosses are watching, dock his pay. This man did not come into work. He stayed home because he's scared of the Titus curse. Dock his pay. That's all I'm saying. Do your job.
I'll be here for the UCLA game because at that point I'm okay with it.
But that's what I learned. That's blue blood behavior. You guys are getting upset. Rex Chapman's like, "I'm sick. Gotta go."
I did have a heart
attack.
attack.
I'm gonna stay home. Can't do it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Armando Baycott got the and one at the end of the game to go up 5, and I jumped up in my chair and I saw stars and I almost passed out. Like I literally, I was on the phone with my brother and I was like, "Hold on a second. Like I've never felt that old in my life. I thought I was gonna die."
Did you think Carolina was going to lose?
In overtime, yes,
or even in regulation. At what point were you like, "Oh, this is actually going to happen"?
When the officials decided that Brady Bannock had a flagrant 2 and was
25,
thrown out of the game.
No,
as soon as he got thrown out, I literally texted my mom and said it was game over, and I was not wrong. And everyone was like, "Oh, this guy's overreact." I understand how this works because it's a blue blood move. Because if Carolina was down 25. And the other best player did that, he would get thrown out, and then Carolina would make the comeback. You know what I mean? That's why it was so wild. It was like Carolina was – the new blood power was stronger than the blue blood power, and I didn't know what to do. Shout out to Scott Drew. Got a lot of respect for me today, by the way. I didn't know that he had this in him, that he was like, "I'm not losing to North Carolina. Like, there's no world in which we're losing to North Carolina." And I saw him against Duke in 2010, and he kind of bent the knee a little bit. No knee bending of the new bloods with Scott Drew. And Baylor is going to win a title with this group. Sohan's going to win a title. I hope Brown comes back. And if Baylor is a fully healthy group with this team, I don't see many teams beating them. That's why North Carolina won.
Yeah, that was the knockout. Like Baylor was the most susceptible 1 seed the whole time. And I think a lot of people had this circled as an upset.
You did. You called it.
Yeah, coming to the game, I didn't necessarily think Carolina was going to win, but I thought if you asked me, like we did talk about this yesterday, which 1 seed was most susceptible? It was Baylor because the
had to be.
Crier's out and Chama Chacho has been out.
But when they're
Brown's been mysteriously sick for
when they're 100%. There's no doubt in my mind that Baylor would win a championship with this group of guys. And Sohan,
are you throwing out the idea that Baylor might pull a Villanova and
Yes.
win a title, lose in the first weekend.
I would
Go
not
back
be
to
shocked that
overtime.
we have a 2016, 2017, 2018 situation. Yeah,
Yeah.
with this Baylor group. Because Jeremy Sohan is so good and so agitating that North Carolina fans were comparing him to Grayson Allen. And that is a compliment to how much this guy was in the fray. I mean, he was unbelievable. And he and Brady Manick were both from Oklahoma. Brady had a big dunk on him early in the game. And from there on out, I was like, wow, these two are going to battle. And shout out to Brady Manick, guys averaging 27 points per game and didn't even play in the last 10 minutes of this game in the tournament.
Where is Brady? If Brady Manick never plays another minute of North Carolina basketball, is his jersey in the rafters? Is it enough? Has he done enough
I mean,
between the Duke game and
honorary in the Raptors?
an honorary?
I will tell you this, like if in 20 years
You put him in the rafters at like the rec gym or something.
Yeah,
Like,
if
not
someone were to
actually
ask me
do
about
that.
Brady Manick in 20 years, I'm going to claim that he played 4 years at Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Carolina guy. I don't care if he's from Oklahoma. And I love Lon Kruger, too. So, like, I feel like Lon Kruger, Roy Williams, very similar personalities. Give us all a Brady. He's a Carolina guy.
We are back in a familiar position where we're questioning, is Scott Drew a good coach?
Oh, no.
I think you have to ask the question. I think other than winning a national title where you ran an undefeated team and one of the best offenses in college basketball history off the floor from the start, what evidence do we have that Scott Drew is a good coach and can be trusted in March? Do we have any? Other than the national title where he beat the undefeated team.
I will
had one of
say
the greatest teams of all
the
time.
fact that Baylor even made this a game says a lot about Scott Drew.
What about Jim? Me and Jim we're talking about this when it was happening. When Scott Drew could not look at R.J. Davis's at the end of regulation. R.J. Davis has the ball,
Covered his eyes.
does the step back. Scott Drew covers his eyes. Is this a sign of weakness? Does this make him more relatable? If you're a Baylor fan and you watch Scott Drew do this, what are your thoughts? How do you feel about this?
I don't think I'm upset about him covering his eyes. I'm upset about his celebration when the shot didn't go in because it was going to
Okay.
overtime. He celebrated like they won the game, that it was
I mean,
going
they
to
came
overtime.
back from down 25.
And he's not wrong, because immediately I said to myself, wow, game over. Baylor's going to win in overtime. Shout out to Dontrez Styles, hit a 3 to start overtime to go up.
Who's that
83.
guy?
5-star from Kinston, North Carolina. Should be playing more.
In all seriousness, what's the deal with Kerwin Walton? Why is he not playing? I was thinking about that as you guys are throwing the ball all over the gym. I'm like, listen, Kerwin Walton is probably not the answer, but like, my God,
2 starters out of the game. So I mean, Caleb Love, one of them, obviously a second or sometimes primary
just
ball
done.
handler.
Kerwin Walton's done. He's
Yeah,
gotta be done.
I think Kerwin's going somewhere else, probably, if I had to guess. But I don't know why he doesn't play in this game. But he's been a great teammate. He's cheering on the sidelines.
Yeah.
I
I
respect
mean, if he
that.
wasn't going somewhere else already, I think after
Yeah.
like if you're not playing him today,
Then when are you going to play him?
when are you gonna play him?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's from Minnesota, so maybe he goes back to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but Scott Drew closing his eyes is not.
I don't-
You're fine with it?
I got respect for Scott Drew in a totally different way today. This is I got like a Jerry Tarkanian type of respect for this guy, or like as a Carolina fan, this is the first time you play Baylor, and you never really know if it's a team that you want to see. Carolina struggled, historically against the Big 12. I don't want to see Scott Drew and Baylor in the NCAA tournament as a North Carolina fan. You know what I mean? Like, that's the respect that I thought that I would want to see Scott Drew. I thought he was going to be a nice guy. I thought that it was going to be a classy, respectful game. Absolutely not. I do not want to see Baylor.
I'm just laughing because I keep staring at the bracket, and Carolina's playing UCLA to go to the Elite Eight. And every time I've asked Tate about Carolina this year, he's like, "I hate this team. I hate these guys. I hate." And now here we are. I love this tournament.
Dawson Garcia was really the secret of this team. When he left, they became a team.
All right.
I mean, that's it. I mean, that is the difference. Everyone's like, well, what's the difference between what you said? I'm like, that's the difference. There's one guy on the team. You can only have one asshole. Those are the rules.
Make that the title of the pod. You can only have
But
one.
we have
Jim's
two.
ours.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jim's
please.
ours.
Beat you.
You can only have one.
Oh man. All right.
Also, you mentioned UNC and UCLA right here. And then you look down in St. Peter's.
St. Peter's. St.
That's
Peter's.
chaos.
Shit.
That's
Well,
chaos.
let's talk about St. Peter's.
Okay.
They have become the darlings of this tournament. How can they not be a 15 seed going on to the Sweet 16 for the first time since Florida Gulf Coast did it, probably in 2013?
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time.
It's been forever since we've seen this. A 15 seed win some games in the NCAA tournament. I'll tap my chest. When St. Peter's beat Kentucky, and we were talking about it 48 hours ago, I said this might be the biggest upset of all time because the the case I was laying out was that St. Peter's doesn't have elite guard play. Of St. Peter's, you're not watching this team, and there's not a Jarius Lyles, there's not a Max Asmus, there's not a guy like Kevin O'Banner, there's not even going back to like upsets past, like C.J. McCollum at Lehigh when they beat Duke, and you know at the time everyone's like, this is insane, and now when you look back on that game, you're like, yeah, of course C.J. McCollum
it
killed
makes
Duke.
sense.
Yeah, all that makes sense. I felt like this was St. Peter's beating Kentucky was not a situation where we would do that. In fact, we do the opposite, and as more time passed, and Ty Washington goes on to a long NBA career.
Yeah, we're like, how?
Yeah, you're just
How
like,
could this happen?
how. This does a little bit to make, if you're a Kentucky fan, you're not celebrating, but you're like, all right, maybe it's not as bad as I thought, because St. Peter's, I don't want to say they're actually like they've been a great team in this tournament. They're playing great defense.
They're disciplined.
They're so disciplined on offense.
That's really the difference.
It's bizarre to see people like pretend like St. Peter's is actually good when we have all these games of data worth that are like, if they were really that good, why have they not been that good all year? And no one can seem to answer that. So like, don't tell me that like this team is actually been good.
You just don't get it.
Yeah. Don't pretend like you've known all along and I haven't. But for what we've seen these two games, they are actually good. They're actually balanced. They are very fun to watch, which we should say is
America's sweetheart.
Is something, because this isn't a case of mucking it up either. You know, like
they're playing like a good quality game.
Yeah,
and they're also playing like Murray State. And you said this at the end of the game. I think Murray State walked into this game expecting a W. They were penciling in a W.
Oh yeah.
And St. Peter's came to play, and it's the same thing with Kentucky, and that's why the mentality of the tournament is always so fascinating, because for whatever reason, St. Peter's thinks that they can win any game in this tournament, or so it seems with the way they carry themselves. And Defoe's been good. I mean, 17-10 in this game. Doug Eddard, like I said, he's hit some big shots, and was another guy at 13 in this game. But
who's more Bank? Yeah, it wasn't Banks this time around, but it was Defoe and who the eater, the mustache man.
Yeah, Doug.
I just know his name's Doug. I don't remember.
Yeah. The
Doug.
Cartoon from Nick.
Who you have to pick one Meninga man. Who's the Meninga man of St. Peter's?
Doug Eddard.
Doug Eddard.
No doubt.
It's the mustache.
It's the whole
the sticking his tongue out when he's beating Kentucky.
And also like the fact that he wanted to take those shots. You know what I mean? There's a level of that where like the fact that Doug Eddard is like, yeah, I want the ball. I want to take this shot. That says something to me. But Defoe's their best player, I think. But yeah, St. Peter's, fascinating team. Shout out to the Peacocks.
And now this is the part where you start talking yourself into does St. Peter's actually have a shot here? Texas Purdue. I think Purdue is a terrible matchup given their size. Given like they haven't. I don't know. Listen, I'm going to eat my word. I'm going to probably pick against St. Peter's every game they play.
Yes.
That's how this is going to work. They're a 15 seed for a reason.
Of
by the way, I would like to point out to America, I don't know if you've connected the dots on this. St. Peter's finished second in their conference in the MAC with 2 A's this year in the regular season. Won their conference tournament. Obviously, that's how they got in. Do you know who finished first in the MAC this year? The MAAC, the Metro Atlantic Alcoholic Anonymous Conference.
The reason I know is because we could have gotten a great game in the first round, and it's Iona.
Yes, it is. It is Iona. So I think as St. Peter's makes this run, we should all make sure we're paying our respects to Iona and Rick Pitino, because he played a hand in this.
Yeah.
He did his part.
And if Rick Pitino had played Kentucky in the first round and beat Kentucky, there's an argument to be made that Kentucky would have hired Rick Pitino.
On the spot.
Spot.
I think
there is an argument to be made that would have happened.
There's an argument to be made they should hire Shaheen Holloway right now.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Because that is the theme of St. Peter's first 2 games, is that Holloway is outcoached. He's out-coaching everybody he's facing. It's like,
yeah,
he's 100% going to Seton Hall, by the way, which is another funny wrinkle about all this, is that Kevin Willard at Seton Hall loses last night. And in his post-game press conference, he's like Kevin, what happened out there? And he's like, I don't know. Thankfully, I don't have to care because I'm not going to be here next year. You're like, whoa, what?
Yeah. He did the Magic Johnson. I'm not going to be here.
Yeah, he really did.
Yeah. yeah.
Kevin Willard. So it did, because he names his replacement. I've never seen this in my life. A guy loses in the NCAA tournament, is asked about his team, and he names his replacement of a job he currently holds. It was staggering. But my point is, like, that's hanging over St. Pete. It's got to be hanging over like their team. But I don't know. it's not affecting them. They're like playing harder for Shaheen Holloway.
And this is our last chance. I mean, this is our last run. I mean, the thing
it.
that's fascinating to me right now is that Kentucky. I know Calipari put out the letter where he was like, "These kids, they're going through it. You know, thoughts and prayers with these kids and us, Kentucky basketball, La Familia." Kentucky, the powers that be, their brass, they're looking at the teams that are still in the tournament and they're thinking, what coach could we hire? So they're like, we could call Musselman, but I don't really. No, he's not it. Maybe we call Mark Few. There's a chance they call Bill Self. Like Kentucky has no shame with this. They will take the best coach they think is available. Mick Cronin gets a 6-year deal. They're like, we'll give you a 10-year deal.
Mitch Barnhart is going to be handing out the national championship trophy with a huge briefcase of cash and is like, congratulations on the national championship, but more importantly, why don't you come on down to Kentucky?
What do you think
come on
of
down
Camelot?
to come on
to Camelot?
That's what this tournament's for.
Yeah, literally.
Is
who's going to be
picking the next Kentucky coach?
Ed Cooley.
You know who's not going to be the next Kentucky coach? Juwan Howard.
Okay, let's talk about it.
We talk about Michigan.
The propaganda.
Michigan's season almost ended with a right hook, and then it was saved with a right hook of Eli Brooks hitting a hook shot, a Jeff Jackson Simpson hook shot.
Special, yeah.
Up by 2 against Tennessee, with like a minute left. Comes out of nowhere. We were live on we were doing the live stream, and I said something about Eli Brooks. Like, you got to look out for Eli Brooks in this situation, but only like the spot up 3 after the ball's been.
You were like, he
rotated
doesn't
a couple
want
times.
this pressure right here.
He doesn't want this pressure. What he wants is the spot up 3, because if you've watched Michigan the last 12 years that Eli Brooks has been there, he hits those massive shots like that. The ball just finds its way to him in the corner, and you just hang your head and you're like, that's going in.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. What we haven't seen, those of us that have watched a lot of Michigan basketball, is the 1 minute left, up by 2, need to ice the game. I'm going to drive to my right and throw up a hook shot.
And if you don't know Jeff Jackson Simpson, he actually went under the alias Xavier Simpson while he was playing in games, and that's where that hook shot came from.
But the weird thing about Jeff Jackson Simpson, he wasn't as good of a driver as Eli Brooks.
And if you know, you know. If you know, you know. But I can't believe that shot went in. And that underscores what the story was today, which is somehow a Juwan Howard redemption arc.
That's where we're at with this. Yeah, it's the. I don't get me started.
They're
Dude.
a top 5 team preseason, but the adversity that they battled, congratulations to them. But I really think that this Tennessee team, they got jobbed. I mean, Tennessee should not have been the 3 seed in this region. They really should have.
They shouldn't. So
seed.
I'm going to defend Rick Barnes for a second, because the people that don't know shit watch.
They're dunking on Rick Barnes.
They're dunking on Rick Barnes, and I get it. That's how it works. But it's also like sort of becoming maddening to watch like these coaching narratives form. Especially, I'm going to be a broken record as this tournament wears on, because I don't know. You just start to realize how nonsensical all this is. That Mark Few could never get over the hump, Tate, and then he's been to 2 Final Fours lately, and he almost won 2. He's been to 2 national championship games.
Yeah.
Sure, he hasn't won the whole damn thing, but like, do you understand how hard that is? Tony Bennett couldn't get over the hump. He won a national title. Scott Drew couldn't get over the hump. He won. You know, this continues to be the theme
Dean
of
Smith,
a lot of coaches.
Yeah,
and I am in no way, shape, or form saying that next year comes around, you should bet your house on Rick Barnes in the NCAA tournament. That is not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that, as you're going to pile on Rick Barnes for losing this game, let's also make sure we note that Tennessee was 2 for 18 from the 3-point line.
Yeah,
and Rick Barnes did not take any of those shots. This game, you know what I mean? And the same thing happened to Fran McCaffrey, that Iowa loses. Like, that's what you get for betting on Fran McCaffrey. Why would anybody believe in Fran McCaffrey? It's like, well, because I didn't think the team that's been unstoppable all season would go 6 for 29 from the 3-point line.
And neither did Fran McCaffrey.
Neither did Fran McCaffrey.
And neither did Rick Barnes
when
they could not make a layup. He even said that, like, Allie LaForce went over and asked him at one point, like, how do you feel about your team? He's like, I love the tempo. I love the pace we're playing at. This is our pace, but we got to make a freaking layup.
Yeah. And you know, Tennessee has had stretches throughout this season where their offense has disappeared. So, you know, maybe it's not as surprising as maybe Iowa was to go to have a cold night in the NCAA tournament, but there is that. The other thing I think that the trap that Tennessee fell into was believing that Hunter Dickinson would at some point start missing, and that just simply did not happen.
Yeah, Michigan made 6 threes as a team, and he made 2 of them.
As the number 1 Hunter Dickinson hater, not only on this show but in America, I was frankly disgusted by what I was witnessing. This man, because it was twofold, Tate. It was one, Michigan's marching on.
Yeah.
If Ohio State pulls off the miracle tomorrow, the Buckeyes now have to play Michigan and Hunter Dickinson's stupid face in the Sweet 16. But also, this was an NBA scout game. Like Hunter Dickinson was out there, like
He's getting
he
drafted.
was showing, and I was like, this man's gonna be in my life for.
So was
for
Kennedy
years.
Chandler. Both those guys left this game, and like Kennedy Chandler was crying, obviously broken after this game. But he and Hunter Dickinson, congratulations, folks. You're
Hunter
going to the
Dickinson,
NBA.
yeah, he's gonna get drafted, and
Yeah.
that disgusts me because I was ready for Hunter Dickinson to like go to Israel or something.
Did you see what he did to Smokey?
Go to the freaking Iraqi league or wherever it is you're going.
Did you see what he did to Smokey, the Tennessee dog? You know the dog mascot.
Who, Hunter?
Yeah, he like after a layup like yelled in Smokey's face, the mascot, and this video came out.
Disgusting. I mean, like, where's the class?
Who yells at Smokey?
Where's the class? we're Michigan men. What's
Yeah.
going on?
Well, they're not Meninga men. That's where the class
I mean,
is.
my God, no. The Juwan Howard propaganda machine is kudos to all of you that are taking part. It is truly
Adam Schefter. Is
yeah, Adam Schefter, dude.
Yeah.
Like all you need to know.
Adam
if
Schefter
it's
said, "Thanks,
propaganda-
Mr.
yeah,
Editor."
yeah. Adam Schefter texted Juwan Howard and said, "Do you think this is good?" And Juwan was like, "Run it, do it, hit send, hit send." Oh my God, it's unbelievable. It's truly unbelievable. This is the man. This man, after he smacked a man. He smacked a man. He struck a man in the face. After that happened, what was all the talk, Tate? What was the defense that you had for Juwan Howard? Not you. I'm saying the
Oh
people.
yeah.
You know what they said?
Don't touch someone.
Don't touch someone in a handshake line.
Yeah.
Don't, like, when someone is emotional after going through a tough loss. One thing you cannot do under any circumstances: put your hands on another man. So what did Juwan Howard do?
He hugged this man.
He said, "Let me just touch all of you. Let me put my hands all over you." And you know what America said? They said, "Juwan, you can't do no that." You know what they said? They said, "Wow, this is awesome. Good job, Juwan Howard." What will it take for him to? Well, like literally, what will it take for the Kendrick Perkins of the world and like because
There's no word.
the Michigan. This is why I go crazy because like no one's seeing this, but I've explained this to Tate. Like the Michigan media mafia is
strong.
Michigan. Ohio State is a university of the people, by the people, for the people. We are the common man. We're hammering Coors Lights on like a hand-me-down couch at our friend's house. That's how we partake. That's how we go through life. We're everyday salt of the earth people. Michigan are the Illuminati, and they have been for years, for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
This has been
What did you
how
say
Michigan.
to me? They're driving their Audi to high school. That was
Dude.
That's a great way to say it.
And if you're not connecting the dots, if you're not seeing this, that there are strings being pulled. This goes all the way to the top, as you said, all the way to the top of Condoleezza Rice running the.
I can't believe she made it in the call. I lost
Dude.
my mind.
This is like there are forces at play here with Michigan, and no one else is seeing it. It's driving me insane. I don't know what Juwan Howard struck a man, and he somehow spun it into like this is adversity
He's
I
been struck.
overcame, and like, dude, I don't understand how it happened. I truly do not understand how. It happened.
I marvel at it.
Meanwhile, Chris Holtman lost to a goddamn 15 seed last year.
Yeah.
Had to go up against Sister Jean. Had to put an end to her. Where's his redemption arc?
Are
we
you
getting a
worried?
redemption arc?
Can I ask this? Are you worried? Ohio State plays Villanova tomorrow, and then if they win that game, which would be great, you have to play your rival.
I know.
That
It
just kind of spoils like the whole idea of going to the Sweet 16.
Dude, why do you
It's
think
like,
I'm so fired up right now? Why do you think I'm so
well,
like?
this is why it's ridiculous because Tennessee should be in this game.
I know.
I mean, congrats to
but-
Michigan. They shoot 50% from the field. Hunter Dickinson has a field day. Everything goes their way. But man,
I don't understand.
I feel for Tennessee fans.
I thought
really
like
do.
when Kay blew it at the last game in Cameron, one of the big takeaways was that there is a God and He loves us.
Yes,
Um,
agreed.
I don't know if I can, in good conscience, look you in the eye tonight after watching what happened with Michigan and the way that everyone celebrated Juwan Howard and hugging Chris Webber and Jalen Rose after the game and like and we had to then pretend once again for the 10 millionth time that the Fab Five won anything, that the best team that's ever been assembled in college basketball history won a goddamn thing. They did not.
Yeah.
They went to you know what happened? The Ed Martin scandal blew up, and the NCAA was like, take down all the banners, and Michigan said, great news. It's going to take us no time at all. We have no banners.
Mhm.
We won nothing with them, so we don't have to take anything down.
Yeah.
We won no Big Tens. We won no national titles.
Where's Glenn Rice?
But somehow,
Where is the actual national champion of
It's-
Michigan? That's
it's-
what I've been asking. Could someone please get a camera on Glenn Rice?
Yeah.
Because then
Right.
I will be fired up.
if the Michigan media machine was run by Glenn Rice, I would have no problem.
I would have my Glenn Rice jersey on, my Hornets jersey.
no problem.
And I'd be locked in.
I would have no problem. But Juwan Howard struck a man, and that's where we're at in 2022.
92, Duke
Struck
beats
a
the
man.
Fab Five. 93, Carolina beats the Fab Five. Like you said, show me the banners.
I'm so damn rattled looking at this bracket, dude. If we beat Villanova, I want no. I'm just crawled into a hole.
Well,
I'm crawled into a hole. I
mean,
do not want to play
yeah,
Michigan.
the irony of it all is that we open this podcast every single time with he takes a timeout.
Let's move on. Let's move on before I upset the high schoolers in New Jersey
they're
who
coming.
whose
Their
parents
Audis.
went to parents went to Michigan, and so they're them and their 3.1 GPAs are going to get into Michigan because Daddy's going to make a big donation and get them in. I don't want to upset you kids staying up late tonight. Let's move on
Shout out
to
to Duncan Robinson. Congrats. Congrats. Hell to the victors.
where are we at? What
Can we
else
talk
we
about
got?
Providence? Can we
Please,
get,
for the love of God,
Yeah.
when are we going to talk about Providence, dude? I try to
Well,
every single night we're coming on this show, and I'm like, we're going to talk about how good Providence is, and you're like, they're lucky. We don't
they're
need to talk about them.
lucky.
We'll talk about what?
Can
How
we
lucky
address
they are?
this? Can we
What?
address two sides of the situation? So Providence fans, we have to address this. They like the Shamrock. They like saying we're lucky. This is how we do things.
They
Things
like
go our way.
They
We're
like wearing
fortunate.
green
They wear green.
They cut to
Yes.
the crowd, and you're like, it's not. Is it still St. Patrick's
Okay.
Day? No.
So they when they won today, they tweet like the Shamrock. Okay. But on the flip side of that, analysts sitting here talking about it.
Yeah.
We say Providence, love those guys. Really respect Ed Cooley.
Mhm.
Also, very lucky team. And they lose their minds. So what is it? Are you
What is-
lucky? Are you not lucky? We want to figure it out, but also congratulations. You go to the Sweet 16. Kind of validates the entire Big East run that they were on. So that was great to see. Richmond pulled what I thought St. Peter's would pull, by the way. I thought St. Peter's would come
Flat
out
egg.
and get flat egg and
Yeah.
it'd be over. But Richmond took their spot.
Providence, is, winning by 28 is that's
They have
impressive.
my attention.
You have my attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only complaint I've ever had about Providence fans is that they pretend like the losses don't never happen. Like
Yes.
that's it. If you acknowledge the losses, and we can have a conversation about like what happened when you got blown out in the Big East tournament and blown out by Marquette.
Didn't happen.
If we can discuss that, then we're back on. Then we could talk about how they're lucky and like it's fun and it's funny and we move on and we enjoy the ride. We've never been anti-Providence.
We like
haven't.
Providence.
The mistake I made is when I went on Pardon My Take leading into the NCAA tournament, and they asked me about Providence, and I said the problem I have with Providence, and I meant this sincerely. This was not like I'm cheering against Providence or I'm betting against Providence or anything else. It's that the problem I have with Providence is they do literally nothing well.
Yes.
And I almost said that endearingly because it is true, because every Providence fan has had a problem with that statement as they marched on to the Sweet 16. I ask you, what is it that you look at this team and you say, like, they shoot threes well? I mean, they're all right. They're not,
It's not their calling.
they're not- yeah,
They don't really have
don't
a calling card other than luck.
Other
Luck
than
is
like
their
at the end of
calling card.
games, they find ways to win. Finally, at long last, they beat the shit out of a team, and that was fun to watch. So congratulations, Providence. You're moving on, and there's that. So we're certainly not cheering against Providence.
And if Providence beats Kansas, I mean, I'm not even going to throw it a luck thing. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, this team is. I have maybe underestimated this team a little bit,
Yeah.
but I don't think that's going to happen. We'll see what happens.
This we have reached, by the way. One thing I love about the Sweet 16 as we still have games tomorrow, obviously, but then we take a big deep breath for a few days before the Sweet 16 games are played. And as we're taking the big deep breath, every single one of these teams convinces themselves they're the team of destiny.
Of course.
Every single one of them,
Yeah.
and that's the best because like,
Memphis
really
thought they
start
were the
believing.
team of destiny.
I mean, look at you, dude. You were out on Carolina.
Yeah.
How many times? Strike 5, 6, 7.
Strike five.
And now they beat Baylor, and Tate's
Pittsburgh.
Tate's
was
like,
great.
oh my God, Kentucky's out. When Purdue loses tomorrow, and it's Texas, St. Peter's, and UCLA to go to the Final Four, Carolina's 100% going to the Final Four. It's happening.
UCLA I picked. I like UCLA.
Jaquez it was just a ankle sprain, right?
I
that's
want
what it
Jaime
was, right?
Jaquez to play in this game. Yeah, I think it's just ankles. Again, he was playing on bum
You're all
ankles.
class. Yeah, you don't want Jaquez.
Look, a lot of peacocking going to be happening in Philadelphia between the St. Peter's Peacocks, the UNC North Carolina fans trying to peacock and let people know that we're a true blood, the real blue blood. UCLA trying to say, got the most titles, you know who we are. I think it's going to be a respectful, classy game. I hope Jaquez plays. Hope he plays well. I'm excited to see what happens.
Tomorrow, what games are we looking forward to
Oof.
the most? First three out of the gate.
Yeah, let's
First
talk about
three out of the gate. Houston, Illinois, standalone game. That
has my attention.
that's probably going to be the game of the day. And if not, that's okay. But
Ohio State, Villanova in that conversation as well. And those are the first.
those are the
games.
first two games.
Yeah.
Both standalone games. There's that, and then the third game is Michigan State Duke. That is a hell of a 3 games to start us off. Sorry, I'm
No, you're good. As I'm thinking about it, I feel like America or the media machine, the propaganda machine, as we know, is going to try to throw and shove down Michigan State Duke. I don't think that's going to be the game of the day. I really don't. I do think Ohio State Villanova has my attention because of the talent of Ohio State and the fact that Villanova, we talked about Team of Destiny. That team thinks they're going to the Final Four. So I'm excited to see it. Villanova. And Ohio State. You think they're going to the Final Four. So there you go.
What?
So there's too many teams of Destiny.
What?
There's too many teams of Destiny.
What? What are
the
the let's see, Ohio State Villanova, our team put together these graphic cards to give us an idea of the matchup. Let's take a look at some of their fun facts. Villanova, since Villanova started playing basketball in 1920, they have had just 8 head coaches. I did not know that. Wow. Very interesting. Now let's go to Ohio State. Let's see what the fun fact for Ohio State is. Lost to Oral Roberts in the first round of the 2021. Okay. Awesome. Cool. Very cool.
Very
cool, you guys.
Fun fact.
Very cool. Very fun fact.
What was Carolina? Carolina's was the Andy Cats selected them as team of the week with no specified week.
We didn't know.
We worked really hard. Thank you, Jim.
Fact.
Jim really dug deep for our alma maters.
All right, so here's a vibe check on Ohio State Villanova. I think obviously
game of the day.
Obviously, Colin Gillespie and his ass backing down in the post is worrisome. Now, Jamari Wheeler, great defender. I like that matchup defensively. I don't like Ohio State's guards like trying to create anything, but I never have. That's okay. I like Chris Holtman versus Jay Wright. Last 3 times he played, he's won. But ultimately, it comes down to this: either Ohio State's going to win this game, and I'm going to be very excited about that, or we're going to lose. And as we're losing, CBS is cutting into Mike Krzyzewski and Duke getting off the bus, and Mike walking and Coach K walking in with his wife, and we're getting.
Should we just call him Mike from now on? That'd probably make him madder than anything we've ever said. Yeah.
So hopefully, like, no one actually remembers the end of Villanova because we're getting so many shots of like Duke getting off the bus, and Tom Izzo like talking to K before the game.
Yeah.
And
Paolo Banchero with his AirPods in, doing a little turnaround.
Paolo's a big time sit on the bench and dribble below your legs.
Yeah, and like rap one thing.
So we can't lose. I don't know if dude, Michigan ruined everything. Michigan really truly did ruin everything because now we win. Even if Ohio State pulls off the upset, now I get to spend the next like 4 or 5 days just like in misery thinking about.
I think for the Big Ten they have to win though.
Michigan State or Ohio State, one of us have to win for the Big. If Ohio State or Michigan State just one out of 2, you win 1 out of 2. The Big Ten wins.
So
we're raising a banner.
So as we talk about in war, there's lots of sacrifices, unfortunately, that have to be made. Would you sacrifice Ohio State winning this game for Michigan State to beat Duke? Now that
Ohio, okay, all right,
Ohio State,
all right.
Only one moves on. Only one moves on.
Give me a second. All right. What I need more. I need to know that Michigan's going to then lose to Villanova.
Yes, Michigan will lose to Villanova.
I need to know
facts.
I need to
I think you got.
I can't believe I'm saying it, but I think I'm taking the deal.
I think I'm taking the deal. That is what you have to do in war.
I think I'm going to take the deal.
That's the art of war.
I understand that makes me.
Those are the rules of engagement.
I think I have to take that deal for the greater good because, as you said, like there's a smaller bet, but this is
a war.
This is bigger.
Yeah. This is like when the White Walkers are coming.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to argue to see like who's actually going to be the king of the Iron Throne.
I'll do it.
Doesn't matter.
I'll be a martyr.
Doesn't matter.
I'll follow my sword if it means Duke losing. I'm happy to do that, and I don't need a statue. I don't need that, but a thank you would be nice.
Yeah.
A thank you would be just one like you see me on the street, just be hey Titus, thanks man, appreciate that. Thank you for your sacrifice. We appreciate it.
What does Coach K do if Izzo beats him? Does he Juwan Howard
back, dude? He Juwan Howard. Well, hold him as he's crying or slap him in the face?
Both.
Strike him in. He holds him, and then as he walks away. Oh man, are there any other games that stand out? Miami Auburn.
That's the upset special. I thought USC was going to be the team to knock them out, but Miami is going to be an interesting matchup with Auburn. I think Auburn should win that game, but
I actually think the games tomorrow, on paper.
You're right.
On paper. I'm just talking paper, dude. Calm down.
Keep it paper.
On paper, should be better than the games today. They should. I think on paper. On court, we'll see.
Are we worried about Arizona, by the way? Because we saw 1 seed go down.
Yeah. TCU
TCU's interesting. So just put that on the radar as
TCU's a good basketball team. TCU plays good defense. Arizona, the problem with Arizona is, not surprisingly, Arizona's cut from the Gonzaga cloth where there are times, I mean, Tommy Lloyd's the Mark Few coaching tree.
Yeah.
But there are times when you're watching Arizona that you could make the case. Are they front runners? Is it like when things are going well, but when Kirk Kreese is throwing it all over the gym and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. Kirk Kreese is not playing, right? So like we're not worried about that. But I'm just saying like the general vibe around Arizona. Like the game at Colorado is a great example. The wheels start falling off.
Yeah.
And is there a fight within them to claw this game out?
And Jamie
TCU's
Dixon,
good. They're going to make this.
I was going to say, Jamie
Yeah.
Dixon is one of those coaches that, like, he's going to make Arizona play left-handed.
Yeah.
He's going to make them play how they do not want to play. And I know that this Arizona team is talented. I know this Arizona team, if they're not the best team in the country, they're the second best team in the country. But I do worry they're a little green. This is their first NCAA tournament experience. Yes. I think we talked about when you get a little bit tight, you start thinking about things, and TCU is going to make you think. So I hope Arizona can survive.
All of these games are going to be awesome, starting with Houston, Illinois, which is you want to talk about culture wars. Like this is disciplined defense.
Yeah. Versus undisciplined.
Yeah.
No offense. I don't know what Illinois is anymore. I don't
nothing.
know. I don't know if I can watch this game.
Nothing that could possibly happen in this game would surprise me. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. If Illinois won by 30, I'd be like, checks out.
Of course they
could. Yeah.
This is by far the best team that Houston's played all year. Why would they not win by 30?
Exactly. Houston could win by 30, and I'd be like, did you see Illinois in round one?
I love this tournament. That's it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for listening. We'll be back again tomorrow, breaking down the action after all the full slate of games. And that'll be that. We'll have a Sweet 16 set. Rest in peace, Pete Gilliam. We're thinking about you. Sorry to hear you died, buddy.
I love you, Coach Gillen.